It's Motivational Monday, and I am here with a great motivational tip for you for this week. So, are you getting in your own way at the moment? Are you actually stopping yourself from achieving something that you really want to achieve because you are causing you to get in your way and stop these things happening? I'm quite an expert in this area because for many, many years I completely got in my own way and stopped myself from really achieving the things that I really wanted to achieve. And why did I do this? Well, mainly because I was in a place of fear. And I was fearful of what I thought the outcome was going to be. I was fearful of so many different things that it actually held me back and stopped me from really moving forward and actually standing in my power and standing on my star and owning what it was that I knew. Now, there's lots of different ways that people talk about fear and how they describe it. There's false evidence appearing real. There's all different things, but the one that I really like to use is thinking about fear in these three ways. It's about fantasy, it's about frightening, and it's about fluffy. So let's define those three elements. The fantasy side of it. What do we think the outcome's going to be? Because a lot of the time what we can do is build this picture in our head of it actually being a really terrible outcome, when the reality is it's probably going to be a really positive outcome. But what you've done is you've created a whole reason as to why you shouldn't take this action. And that really doesn't help you. So think about the best case scenario that it could be, rather than focusing on the worst case scenario, and the chances are probably going to be a much better outcome. Then let's focus on the frightening element of it. Well, usually things are frightening because you've probably chunked it too big. And that can be a huge problem, is we can chunk things too big. And if you've got something that's on your to-do list that's been on there for more than a couple of days in a row, or even longer than that, a couple of weeks in a row, what I want you to do is pull it out and break it down. Because it's usually that there are too many steps to the end goal that you haven't actually yet put into place. There are too many steps for you to actually find what you think is going to be the outcome. So break it down. Look at what are the steps for me to achieve this, and write them down so you can actually look at it as something you can do. Then we move on to fuzzy. So what's the fuzzy bit all about? Well, it's getting clear on what the job actually is. Because have you again really thought about that? Sometimes we make it into something that it isn't, again, because we're scared of what the outcome's going to be. So break it down into logical steps and think about, what is it that's getting in your way? What is it that's stopping you from moving forward? Another little tip that I'd like to give you today is about a book that I literally discovered at the weekend because I had the pleasure of meeting the author, the wonderful, amazing, fabulous Derek Mills. He was at an event that I was at on Saturday, and I had the pleasure of spending some time with Derek and speaking to him about his 10-second philosophy. Now, I've got to be honest, I'd never looked at things in the way that Derek was talking about on Saturday, and I think it's absolutely inspirational the way that he's described, and I will be adapting some of my own philosophies moving forward to work in the way that Derek suggested, because it just flicked a light bulb on for me. And when that happens, I know that it happens for a reason, and now we're living in this world of 4D and serendipity is at full play. There's a reason why Derek and I were brought together, and I truly believe that. So his book, The 10-Second Philosophy, talks about standards, and it talks about that if there's things in your life that are not working in the way that you want, or your life just isn't working in the way that you want at the moment, it's usually because we're chasing after something that isn't resonating with us, that isn't making us tick, and that isn't helping us to achieve the things that we really want to achieve. And he talks very much about standards rather than goals. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm not somebody that's always been majorly inspired by goals. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But the interesting thing was, Derek said that less than 3% of the population of the States actually achieve their goals. So when we break this down, again, this comes back to, why is our life not working in the way that we want it to? and it's because you're getting in your own way, because you're not doing something as effectively as you could do it. So maybe think about setting your standards and setting them to live them day by day, rather than looking too much into the future. I'm going off a bit of a tangent there, but I really wanted to share that with you because I just thought Derek was so amazing and I was so inspired by him. So, carpe diem is one of my favourite sayings. Seize the day. You can live in a life where you get caught in a habitual situation and things don't ever change. And you can look at them and say, that's not me. And another one of my favourites is Einstein's theory of insanity, of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting to get a different result. Life is about challenges, and it's about doing things differently, and it's about us being challenged every single day in a really, really positive way. What I want to encourage you to do is look at those challenges that are going on for you right now and to flip them. Flip them into something that can be really, really positive on your life, and that most importantly will help you get out of your own way. I hope that you found today's tip motivational, and please drop your comments below and tell us how you've been getting on with the videos so far. There's been a few videos in the series so far, and I really want to encourage you to build on every single week, to look at what's changing for you and how you can make your life even more phenomenal, because that is what 2013 is all about. It's about making life phenomenal. I can't wait to hear how you've been getting on, and thanks for watching. See you next week.